So welcome back to a video on the Lowsey channel, and today we are back. As you've seen in the title, we are predicting the Premier League seasons from relegations, the mid-tables, the European spots and the champions. But before we get in this video, please do me a massive favour: like, subscribe and comment, and let me know if you are excited for the Premier League season and if you agree with my predictions and what you would have different. But let's get into it. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Premier League 25 to 26 season. I am absolutely buzzing and ready to go. But let's tell you, I wasn't that buzzing about a week ago when Newcastle had only signed Alanga. Everyone wasn't coming and players were being pinged left, right and centre, and the Isaac stuff's happening. But now, Ramsdale, Malik Chow, Alanga, Jacob Ramsey, probably going to get Wissa. Don't care what happens with Isaac, let him go, I don't give a shit, and bring someone in. But I'm so excited for the start of this season now. Are you excited? Because I know I bloody well am. Just welcome back to the channel as well. I know it's been a while, I had a bit of a summer break. I went to a Ibiza and things like that, but we're back on the grind, ready for the new Premier League season to record some videos, back on Twitch. I'm also going to potentially start doing some streams on TikTok as well, because I think that's a good way to grow your audience, and even just doing little clips like this on TikTok, like my Premier League predictions and things like that, because I think it's a good idea to grow our YouTube family. But yeah, there's going to be 3 videos in the next 24 hours, or 27 hours basically. There's going to be today, what you're seeing now, the Premier League predictions. I'm going to get this literally edited, thumbnail made and uploaded straight away for the Premier League predictions. Then tomorrow morning about 10-11 o'clock there's going to be my game week 1 predictions, and then later on, probably before the Liverpool game, I'll show you my FPL team to keep that tradition in the channel. But let's get into the Premier League predictions. I've got my phone in front of us because I did jot this down, doing a bit of prepping, so I've got it all in front of us, and boys, I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard. Like, don't take offense to these predictions, because more than likely they're gonna go horrendously wrong. It's just my beliefs, what I think's gonna happen. I'm gonna start with 20th straight away. I do think these are made good signings, and like Hartman, Kyle Walker, Dubravka, and I've got like Esteve, good players, but I think it's Burnley, lads. I just don't think they've got a better squad than any of these teams. And that's my logic for putting Burnley that low. I do think Burnley will be better defensively than Leeds and Sunderland, but I just don't think they're going to score enough goals, and ultimately I think that's what puts Burnley down. Now going into 19, this is really difficult for me, guys, I'm not going to lie. I want to put Leeds there, but then I look at Leeds business, Lucas Perry, Bijol, Longstaff, Statch, Calvert-Lewin now, I just don't know. But I think just based on their manager, and if their manager does last the whole season, which I don't think he will, but I'm just going on that basis, I think Leeds United will finish in 19th. This Premier League squads are too good these days. I do think there's a case where like your Fulhams could go down and things like that. Just, I'm not putting them there, just because they haven't really bought anyone. I don't think they actually have bought anyone. And it looks like Rodrigo Muniz is leaving, but they'll be fine in my opinion. But Burnley and Leeds, 20th, 19th, and going into 18th, really find it hard to do this because I do put them low every single year. But again, this is just based off their manager they've got. Oh, actually, I'm switching at the last minute. Sunderland, the promoted 3 are going down. Who would have guessed it? Now, I'm a Newcastle fan, but I can be honest, I think Sunderland have done excellent business in terms of Granit Xhaka. They've just signed a centre-back who I think is quite decent. But then there's the unknown. Habib Diarra, half a good season or one good season. Talby, Young, can he do it in the Premier League? I don't think so. Haven't got a striker yet, so I don't think they're going to score enough goals. Dan Ballard, Patterson, or that new goalkeeper signed, are they going to be good enough? Is Trey Hume going to be good enough? Is Sunderland's left back going to be good enough? I don't know. I don't think Masuaku is going to be good enough. I know they've just signed him in Sirkin. I don't think he's good enough. You think I'm a Sunderland fan the way I'm talking, but no. I just don't think Sunderland will be. I think it's business to go down. I think they'll come back up, but I'm just going to have to put them in the bottom 3 because the team that I'm going to put in 17th, I think, will just have enough. Now, I do feel bad putting the team this low, but they haven't signed any attackers. That's why I'm putting them there. Like, I think defensively they'll have enough to stay up midfield, like Damsgaard and stuff. It's Brentford. I go against them every year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them 13th, 14th. I don't think they'll be higher than that. Again, I think it's a very manager-driven. Keith Andrews, for me, very unknown. Talks well, got to admit, does talk well, but they're probably going to lose with that of my club, Newcastle, who they're going to get Ouattara from Bournemouth. I'm just I'm unsure, if I'm being honest with you. I am very unsure on how Brentford will do without Thomas Frank, because as we know, Thomas Frank is a massive, massive player for Brentford. And that's going to be a huge miss. I do really believe that. So, 17th place, Brentford. Now moving into 16th. We're going with Fulham. Now, Marco Silva, I think is a good... I don't think he's an excellent manager, but I think he's a good manager. I think he's decent. And they haven't strengthened. So, where did Fulham finish last year? Was it 10th or 11th? Not saying anyone in teams around them. Some teams around them, should I say. Buying players, I think they're just going to overtake them. So, I do have Fulham in 16th place. Now, moving on to 15th. Is that right? Yeah, 15th. I'm going with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, I do think Wolves won't. I don't think Wolves will pull up trees, but I'd like what I saw from Vitor Pereira when he had came in. So for me, like, I'm not going to go against them. I think Gomez and Andre is an excellent midfield. I think Strand Larson scored 14 goals in the Premier League for them last year. I think he's an excellent striker. They've signed, they've agreed to sign a right back today. I think the centre backs like Agbadou and stuff will be fine. I do think they'll miss Cunha, but again, I think Wolves will be alright. I think they're better squad. I think they've got them Brentford. I think they'll be more solid than Fulham now. And I think they're better than these teams. Yeah, I do kind of feel like Leeds and Sunderland could interchange with any of these teams, I'm being honest with you. But I'm not. I'm not playing it safe. I'm just going what I more than likely think is going to happen. I do find it very, very hard to predict this, but yeah, I'm going with that. Now, moving into 14th now. Again, Graham Potter's West Ham. They put a bid in for Fernandes from Southampton, who I think would be a great addition to a Graham Potter side. They signed Malik Diouf, who I think is a good signing. Kyle Walker-Peters. Callum Wilson, who probably will play 5-6 games and get injured. Do love him, but probably going to happen. Who else have they signed? They've got Fulkrug if they can keep him fit. Bowen again. Bowen's a good, really good player. I just think, oh, what the fuck's happened there? Get off my screen. Yeah, I just feel like West Ham don't have enough to go higher than that, or maybe one or two places higher, but they definitely don't have. For me, they won't be in the higher mid-table spots. Now, moving into 13th. Again, I think a lot of people have this team going down, but based on how good their manager is and the replacements they're signing, and some of the players they've actually still got, I'm going with Bournemouth. Now, I think people could be like, ooh, Bournemouth then. You think they'll finish higher than Wolves or West Ham? Again, it's just your self-preference. But, again, I think they've signed Diakate, a brand new centre-back who looks really, really fucking good. Another player they'll probably sell for twice, 3 times what they bought him for. Evan Nielsen, Semenyo. They've got Philip Billing. They've still got good players in the midfield. Lewis Cook. I think they'll be alright. I think they'll be 13th, but I think they won't go higher than last year. I do think they'll have a little drop off, but hey, Bournemouth, I think they'll be happy being in the Premier League and going away to massive clubs and winning, and they've got a great manager, so that's why I put them in 13th. Now we're moving into the higher mid-table slots now. So now we're talking, and now I'm going for my flop of the season. I'm going with Nottingham Forest. Again, Nottingham fans, don't take it to heart. I just don't think you're good enough, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think last year they sat behind the ball, and I just think it's not gonna. I think they had a magic year. That's what I'm gonna call it, a magic year. They've lost Alanga, signed Ndoye. I think Ndoye's decent. Don't get us wrong. Igor Jesus. I mean, I don't know how he's gonna do. I don't expect Chris Wood to score 19 Premier League goals again. So I don't think they've. I don't know. They kept Gibbs White. I do think 12th place they'll finish, and of course they've got Europa League to deal with as well. So naturally, I do expect a drop off from Nottingham Forest. Obviously, this could all change because they could go and sign 3, 4, 5 players and 2 really good ones. But again, I can't see them going higher than that, and I can't see them going higher than the teams I've got in front of them. And they've also just, as I'm recording, while that is crazy. They've just agreed a deal to sign Callum Mwendo from Rennes. That is very, very strange. It says Arnold Callum Mwendo is on the verge of joining Nottingham Forest as the deal's being formalised. So that is quite creepy. But yeah, I don't think he'll be enough to put them up anymore though from what I'm saying. But now we're moving into 11th place. I'm going to put Crystal Palace. Now, I do think Crystal Palace will finish 11th. They haven't bought anyone yet. Well, they've got Sosa and Benitez. I think Sosa cost like 4 million and Benitez was free. It looks like they could be losing Eze to Tottenham as I'm recording, and it also looks like they're going to be losing Mark Gahey to Liverpool. So naturally, I do think they'll spend money to bring in some players, but they haven't brought enough, or they haven't showed enough ambition for me to put them higher than they are. Of course, we've got some incredible players like Ismail Assar, Adam Wharton, who I think is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I think he's so good. They've got the Czech Enquiries still, I believe. Mateta, boom, boom, boom. So I do think they've got good players to keep them there. I could also see them fading to like 13th, 14th. I could see them changing with Bournemouth, maybe West Ham. I can see Forest finishing above them. But I think Crystal Palace will play in the Europa League next season, because I do believe Crystal Palace will win the Conference League. I just feel like I've seen the teams in it. I mean, watch them going and beat in the qualifying round. But no, I've just got a feeling Palace will win the Conference League with the squad, with the manager. The manager is a winner. He's won the Europa League, the FA Cup, the Charity Shield. So he does like winning. He can pick up trophies, and he's shown that. So I'm putting Crystal Palace in 11th, but Crystal Palace to win the Conference League. Now moving into 10th, I've got their rivals Bournemouth. What am I talking about? I've got their rivals Brighton Hove Albion. Now, people have Brighton higher. I've seen on predictions. People have Brighton exactly where I put them now. I just think there's 9 better teams than Brighton now, or maybe the team I put 9th I could interchange with 10th. But I think Brighton have a good squad. They might lose Baleba and Man U, but I don't see that happening. I just don't know if Man U will be able to pay the 100+ million Brighton want, but again, they might. They have lost a few players, but again, they have made some good signings as well. So 10th place, solid finish for Brighton. That's who I'm putting there. Now moving on to 9th, and this is just on the signings I've made. I've been really, really, really impressed with this club's business. Really impressed with them last year, and impressed with the manager. It's David Moyes' Everton. Ooh, Everton. Yeah, Jack Grealish has signed. Looks like they're probably going to get Tyler Diblin, Tieno Barry, Keenan Dewsbury-Hall. They've got Branthwaite. They're solid defensively. They might sign James Justin. I think 9th. I mean, this is a risky one because any of these here could finish above Everton. But I'm just going to say Everton to finish 9th with the signing of Grealish, winner. With Tyler Diblin, young talent who looks very, very good every time I've watched him play. If Barry can get scoring goals, or Beto maybe if he's still there. Keenan Dewsbury-Hall, he's a winner with Chelsea, got that experience now. So I'm putting Everton in 9th. But then again, this is my risky one because I've got Everton as my dark horse that's finishing in 9th. This is risky, but yeah, that's what I'm going with. Now, moving into 8th place. Now, don't feel disrespected to this club. It's just you've made one first team signing and you've sold a lot of players. I'm going with Aston Villa. I signed Nevin Gusand, who I think is a brilliant footballer, a brilliant player. I think he'll do really well at Villa. But I just feel like the teams I'm going to put above them are going to have better seasons, better depth. Like, don't get us wrong, Aston Villa have some fabulous football players like Ollie Watkins, Emi Martinez, Youri Tielemans, Anana. And they've got good experience like Tyrone Mings, Pau Torres, Konsa, who I think is a brilliant centre-back. Lucas Digne experience. I do think they've got good players, but I don't know, the teams I'm putting ahead of them, I just think they're going to finish higher. And I think Villa could also win the Europa League. So Villa could be playing Champions League next year. And I'm sure Aston Villa fans would take an 8th place finish if I told you you're going to win the Europa League. So Villa, you're going to win the Europa League. Sorry for putting you in 8th place. But now we're moving on to 7th place. I'm going to change this one because I've got my phone in front of this, my list on. But I'm going to put Manchester Reds. Put Manchester United in 7th. I was going to put the team that's in 6th in a moment there, but I'm just thinking I'm not keen on their midfield at the moment. Like, Man U could also easily finish, yeah, and Villa could finish above Man U. And actually, do I want to do it? Diallo, Cunha, Sesko, and what? I'm doing it, lads. Villa 7th, Man United 8th. So my little edit there, but yeah, yeah. I just think Man United, fabulous attack, and I do believe they will score a lot of goals under Amarin with the Amad Diallo, Cunha, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Šeško, Sirks even. I just think they'll score a lot more goals this season, but what worries me is they haven't signed a midfielder yet. Now, if Man U sign Baleba, swap Man U and Aston Villa around, but I just think the midfield of Casemiro and whoever I will partner on looks like it can be Bruno Fernandes, and probably will be Bruno Fernandes. I just don't think it's going to be strong enough for Man United to... I think everyone will be able... Like, I think the top teams, especially the counter-attacking teams, will just be able to get through Man U's midfield every time. And I'm still not 100% sold on the defence. I don't think they're so bad defensively. I think Yoro's really good. I think Maguire can be excellent. Like Lisandro Martinez, can he keep fit? Anana, Bayende, like it looks like that they're going to be the Man U's keepers again. So that's why I'm going to put Man U in 8th. Now moving on to 6th place, I'm going with the Frank engine, Thomas Frank's Tottenham. Now, I love Thomas Frank. I think he is an excellent manager. I think Tottenham are going to... It looks like they're signing Savinho potentially, and it looks like they're potentially signing Eze. If they get that, I think they've got good depth already. I think Thomas, the Frank engine, is got so many different ways of playing. He's so adaptable. So I do think Tottenham will be able to go to the likes of Liverpool, might be able to nick a draw, might be able to go to the Emirates and win, might be able to go to City and win like they normally do anyways. So I just feel like Tottenham will pick up more results under Frank, and I think Frank gets them back in 6th place. Of course, they've got the Champions League to deal with, but I don't think that'll affect them that much if they get more signings in, which I believe they will. So that's why I'm going with them in 6th. Now, in 5th place, which is going to be the Champions League spots again, I believe, with the coefficients rule, I am putting my club, Newcastle United. I just feel like I think we've got a great squad, and I can name it for you straight away. For me, Nick Pope's going to start the season number 1. I disagree with that. I think it should be Ramsdale, but I do think Ramsdale will overtake him, and I think we'll sign him permanently. So just say Nick Pope back up, but Ramsdale in goal. Right back, we've got Tino Livramento as starter, who's one of England, probably one of England's best right backs or full backs, so he can play on the left as well. And Kieran Trippier, also Kraft, so that's 3 right backs. Centre back, right centre back, we've got Fabian Shaw, Malik Chow, and Jamal Lascelles. Left centre back, we have Alex Murphy, who I think will get loaned out, but Dan Burn, Sven Botman. Left back, we have Matt Target, Lewis Hall. Midfield, we've got Lewis Miley, Joe Linton, Bruno Tonali, Jacob Ramsey, Joe Willock. I do think Newcastle might sign another midfielder, but I'm not quite sure. Right wing, we have Jacob Murphy, Anthony Elanga. Left wing, we've got Sung Soo Park, Barnes, Gordon. Striker, Asula, the Rat Isaac, and potentially Wissa. For me, I think that's just going to be strong enough to get us back in the Champions League. The way we play, St James's Park's a fortress, signing better players, upgrading on what we had. Rotation is going to be key forward. With, as you can see, that's why we've got Ramsey and things like that. And trying to, I think if we didn't get Champions League, I think we probably would have kept Callum Wilson. But yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with our window now because it looked horrendous, and I think we're going to get 5th. I've got to back your team, and I'm backing them to get back-to-back Champions League qualifications. Again, I hope we can retain the Carabao Cup. We'll go one further and win the FA Cup. I hope we can have a nice Champions League run. But I think now the important thing is for Newcastle now, you've got to stay in the Champions League every year, or you've got to win a trophy. That's what I want to see. Of course, every fan wants to see that, but I think we're more than capable of winning a trophy or getting in the Champions League in the top 5. Now, enough of my club. We're moving on to the 4th place. Really hard to predict this year because these 4 clubs have spent ridiculous, like crazy, and they brought some brilliant players. But in 4th, I'm going with Chelsea. The reason I bring Chelsea to you is because the manager mostly. I think Arteta, Slot, and Pep are better managers in Chelsea. Of course, Arsenal, Liverpool and City are used to playing the Champions League with their current players and their new players, whereas Chelsea have been out of it for a little while. I think it's Maresca's first campaign in the Champions League as an actual manager as well, so I think that could play a factor. Of course, Chelsea have a big squad, but I just think Chelsea will finish in 4th. Chelsea fans, let us know what you think about that. Do you think I'm being harsh? Do you think you're better than Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City? Let us know, but I just think Chelsea in 4th. Now moving into 3rd, I'm going with Manchester City. I'm still, this is crazy for me to say, but I'm still not sold on Manchester City. Since Rodri got injured, since it come back, I feel like football's evolved again. Especially since Slot come in the league. Of course, City had a blip last year for their standards to finish 3rd. Of course, like, some clubs were like, well, I wish I could finish 3rd. But Man City want to win. Man City want to win the Champions League or the Premier League every year. Like, that's what they want. I don't know, I'm not keen on the Ain't Nouri signing. Like, I think he's a brilliant player, but can he do it for City? Ultimately, what I'm saying is, going forward, City are going to score lots of goals. But I don't know what's going to happen defensively. They need to keep Rodri fit if they want a chance of winning the league. Like Tijani Rangers, he's an amazing midfielder. Obviously, we've seen Marmoush last season when he came in January, brilliant. Haaland, striker, brilliant. But for me, it comes to the wingers. Doku, Foden, if Foden gets that wing spot. I don't know. Foden has to be back at his best if City want to win the league. Rodri needs to stay fit. Haaland needs to stay fit and score goals again. And I think we're going to need better, well, they're going to need better output from Jeremy Doku. They could sign Rodrigo if they lose Savinho or Spurs, which is being said. Now I think that elevates City and might change my prediction slightly. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. Now, I've got 2nd and 1st. So do I go with my Premier League champions first? No, you know what? Yeah, we will. We'll go with my Premier League champions first. I believe the team to win the Premier League, it's inevitable, isn't it? I'm going Arsenal. Now, I am going to get bantered from the rooftops for this. I know I am for a fact. But I believe Arsenal will win the Premier League. And let me tell you why. Now, I think Arsenal have the most steady back four going into this season, because City have chopped and changed a bit. Liverpool have drastically changed with Kirkez and Frimpong. Two, like, I think left back okay, but Frimpong to Arnold are completely different, like, fullbacks. Of course, they're going to be very attacking Liverpool, and I think that could also backfire against them. I think they could concede a lot more. And then you've got AFCON, so there's going to be a point where they do lose Mohamed Salah at the AFCON. I do think their goals will be shared out because Ekitike signed and things like that, so and Wirtz is there as well now, but I just think this is going to be Arsenal's year, and I know what people have said that for a long time, but now they've got the striker. So if you're going off what you've said, what everyone said over the last few years, Arsenal should win the league. What's the team? Raya, Timber / Ben White, Gabriel Saliba, Mosquera, Kivio, Skelly, Calafiori. Midfield three of Zubamendi, Odegaard and Rice. Amazing midfield. Martinelli / Madueke, Saka and Nwaneri can play in the middle as well. And Gyökeres. I just think Gyökeres could take Arsenal over the line. Now, I did have Liverpool there originally, but I want to be different and I want to see a change. And I just think Arsenal might nick it. I just think Liverpool's change in terms of like sports, so many players could backfire against them, but it could also just make them unstoppable, really. If they get Isak from Newcastle, which I've got a feeling that won't happen, but if they do get Alexander Isak, I think Liverpool will be champions. But I'm going with Arsenal. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my Premier League predictions. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a massive favour. Like, subscribe and comment in the famous last words. See you in the next one.